Hey, what's happening, YouTube? It's Richard, founder of Short-Term Rental University and Airbnb Superhost, and I'm thrilled to be joined by
Erica!
Here in the lovely Nosara region of Costa Rica. We've got a really cool house inside. It's for sale. It's listed on Airbnb. It does really well on Airbnb, and we can't wait to show you why. But the first thing I see when I look from the outside is it's like polished concrete, and it's very modern, and it's a little bit unique to the area, but it doesn't have a ton of curb appeal, but a lot of times modern homes don't, right? So it's kind of like, well, let's peek what's inside and see if it really opens up and makes a lot more sense. Personally, I'm drawn to the modern aesthetic and the polished concrete and so on, but I understand that that's not everybody's deal, especially maybe in, a beach area.
It is pretty nondescript. I mean, it doesn't grab your attention as you're driving by.
For those of you who don't know, I was born and raised in Costa Rica, so I know a lot about the country, although I've heard of Nosara. I've really only started visiting here with Erica about 4 or 5 months ago. So my knowledge is recent, but what I can say is it's a world-class surfing destination, world-class yoga destination. People have a lot of off-sites and retreats, and people from all over the world come here for literally world-class yoga. And Erica and I have been fishing, so we can attest to just how amazing the deep sea fishing is, the offshore fishing. So people come for a variety of reasons, and I think more and more people are coming and spending more and more money. This kind of home and this price point did not exist when I was born and raised here, 50 years ago. However, it's becoming more common, and we see multi-million-dollar mansions. We've toured a few of them. We have one more this afternoon. So the times they are changing. That said, you'll still continue to see the safety, the privacy, not a lot of bling on the outside. And I think that probably relates to tradition, custom, privacy, security, and things that are really important. So I think we're going to be interested and curious to see what's going on inside. Let's go. All right, well, here we are inside the house.
Yeah.
This is obviously the main kitchen, the dining room, the living room. It looks like it seats, 6 people at the table and maybe 8 or so at the living room. Brand new kitchen, nice concrete eat-in kitchen, new appliances. But the thing that really catches my attention is actually not in the living room. It's this wall of glass and then the outside.
Right. I love how they've, used the concrete, the wood, tile, paint, and a number of different, surfaces and materials, but no part of it feels cold. No part of it feels dark. It's all really, really light. It's quite beautiful. I love this.
Right.
It literally is bringing the outside in, and the outside's beautiful. And I love the windows along the top. It makes it just nice and bright.
And I think one of the points that you've made, which is if you're using too much concrete and it doesn't have this much natural light, right, maybe it does feel cold and, medicinal or antiseptic or whatever the right word is to describe that.
Right.
But given the fact that we're in a really sunny environment and tropical environment, you look out the door and you see, palm trees and sun and pools and all that.
Yeah.
I really like the concrete floors and the concrete eat-in countertop and all that, right?
I think it's a beautiful balance.
Right? I really like it.
Absolutely.
But I do think we should go outside.
Yes.
So this is a little oasis, a little backyard oasis, right? With a really cool pool. I love the design that they've got with the little pebbles and the like the specks, and it kind of looks sparkly and inviting. It's got this Indonesian feel with the day bed and this pool and palms, and I don't know, it's really cool.
It really is. It's a really comfortable space. I love that there's sunshine and shade.
Right.
So appeals to everybody. If you want to, catch some rays, you can do that, and if you want to kind of protect yourself and sit in the shade and read a book, you can do that.
Right, and I also think while a lot of the backyard is built or developed, I think it's really comfortable. It works really well. People can enjoy their time here. But I also think from the Nosara lifestyle, people aren't spending as much time in their house as they are away from their house, out in the surf or mountain biking or doing yoga, right? This is a place where you come at the end of the night, you have maybe a nice meal with your family, you go to sleep early, you wake up early, and you're back out at it again. It's a very active environment and community, and that's, say, very different than other vacation rental areas or second home areas where people go and they hang out in their second home. and that's the primary thing. So as much as I don't want to get out of the pool, unfortunately we do need to show everyone the rest of the house inside. Let's start with the master bedroom, and then I think we'll just show them the other casita.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, let's dry off. Let's do it.
Yep.
I guess this is technically the master bedroom, although there's a mirror image of it directly above us, right? So maybe that's the master, and I haven't spent enough time here to know where I would personally call the master and where I would reside. But the beautiful thing about this room is you can just walk right outside and go into the pool area in the backyard and so on.
Right.
So my inclination tells me this is where I would hang.
Totally. I completely agree.
The other thing that I want to point out is, local use of hardwood closets, intelligently used. There is a safe in the corner so that people can put their valuables and passports and stuff like that. So when they're out surfing, they don't have to worry about any of their personal belongings. That's really thoughtful, and I think that's a great idea in all Airbnbs everywhere in the world, and it's nice to see them do it here. And again, perfectly functional, really nicely decorated, brand new, clean, cement floors, local woods, glass out to the backyard. But the really amazing part of this is just past there.
How great is this? I love the wood planked floors. I love the cement bathtub. Again, the polished cement walls. I mean, it's functional, it's cool, it's different, it's, tons of room.
I love the really dark, polished concrete. It really works for me, and it makes me feel sort of like a Zen environment,
For
right?
sure.
But I'm sure there's plenty of people that would not choose this for either their own home or their Airbnb. But don't worry about who you're not, right? The point of marketing is to attract the right people and repel the wrong. So if you have a personality and a statement and you like this, as long as it's not like crazy over the top and no one likes it, then you're going to have much more success at making a statement, being bold, being true to your why and your intention, and sharing it with people that appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Right? And I couldn't agree more. They did a really spectacular job. I want to know who the builders are because, I think it's really, really perfect.
Everything from sinks, faucets, the mirrors that they chose. I just think it's really beautiful.
Even the light bulbs.
Yeah.
Right? Like the old school Edison type light bulbs. I know they're making a big comeback, and maybe one day they'll swap them out because they're overdone.
Right.
But for right now, it works really well.
Yeah, super cool.
All right, let's go.
All right, let's go upstairs. So this bedroom is equally nice, mirrors the one downstairs, but what's really special is what's outside.
Let's go.
All right. How rad is this roof?
Super cool, right? Like, it's not really a green roof because it's got pebbles, but it has landscaping and natural, seagrass and so on. And it's just aesthetically really interesting, much more interesting than if it was just a normal flat roof.
Right. I think it's called a living roof.
Could be.
The plants and the grasses that they chose to use, I think, are really aesthetically, pleasing. I think they're actually quite beautiful. And pretty low maintenance. I mean,
very low maintenance.
Yeah.
I can see they have irrigation, and then most importantly, that's a really just nice thing to see in the corner of your eye, but then you're looking down at the entire backyard and that daybed and the two pools and listening to the water come cascading over from one pool to the next, and it's just great to be back here.
I really couldn't agree more.
Nice place to read. Maybe have an iced coffee. It's a little hot for coffee, but an iced coffee sounds pretty nice right about now.
It sounds really, really good right about now. So, I mean, again, these upstairs bedroom and bathrooms are very similar to the ones we saw downstairs. The one difference is one of the bedrooms has a couple of
twin bed bunk beds, right? Sleeps 4.
Right.
And a difference in this bathroom is it has a shower without that big concrete tub, which is really cool.
Right.
But what I do want to share with everyone is what happens in the little casita, the second structure on this house. So let's go check that out.
Absolutely.
After you.
Okay.
You know what I just noticed as we walked over here? There's a whole separate entrance. So not only is this a second structure for people that rented the entire compound, it's very likely rentable like this smaller house and that bigger house to two separate groups, two separate families, because that is an entirely separate entrance and exit to the street and probably to parking.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I mean, more flexibility, more income potential, really smart.
Right, they thought about it.
They did indeed. And so the aesthetic is very similar to the main house in terms of the cement floors and the cement countertop and the eat-in kitchen, and it's just smaller, super cozy, but this is fabulous, right? Like, to be perfectly honest, this is where I'd want to hang.
Absolutely,
right?
Couldn't agree more.
Total privacy. So the bathroom is consistent with everything else, the polished concrete. It does have some exterior slats that face outside, so it's not really an outdoor shower, but it's not entirely an indoor shower. It's sort of like a hybrid shower, which is a great mix of like indoor, outdoor, and the entire rest of the aesthetics.
It works.
It does indeed.
It works.
What about this room?
It serves its purpose, right? I mean, again, I love the color scheme. It's not big.
It's not at all.
Right, but as you pointed out, I mean, it's a great place to lay your head. It covers the needs.
But what's interesting is when you have a small room like this, the use of sliding doors, right? Because if this door opened in, it would be even smaller. So the fact that it's a sliding door, it doesn't take up any space. And then also here you'll notice that they've got built-ins, right, for the closet. So it's not like, well, I guess it sticks out somewhat, but it's less so than, say, furniture.
Right.
And once again, they have a safe so that whoever's staying in this little casita feel safe, secure, passports are okay, jewelry and other things, right?
All those are really, really good points. Obviously, what I love about this room, the glass wall and the door that heads outside to the pool.
Totally.
I mean, a stone's throw away, you could wake up first thing in the morning and just dive in.
Totally.
So it's such a beautiful day. Let's head back outside and finish up out there.
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
Let's go. So, what are your overall conclusions? Where's there some room for improvement?
I would say, if anywhere, probably the kitchen. I think if you're considering that this house sleeps 8 to 10 people, that kitchen would really struggle to, provide a meal for 8 to 10 people. It would be really, really small.
Right. Well, at the same time, we don't know. Maybe their business model is to just have 6 people or 8 people in here and then 2 people down there, and there's a little kitchenette down there as well. And so we don't really know who's renting it or how they're renting it. But what we did hear from Olivia was that this is a very popular Airbnb. It does really well. There's a lot of people that are looking for bigger 4 or 5 bedroom homes. This is one of the only 5 bedrooms. And so they can see the photos in the kitchen and so on. And I think unlike other areas, as I keep saying, I don't think people are necessarily renting the home with the plans of coming here for a week and just staying in the house and cooking and so on. The other thing that I would say is that the backyard is also a little bit on the small side for that amount of traffic. But they do have a limited footprint, and I think they've optimized it really well. They made the best of it. It's super comfortable here. But in most vacation homes that I've seen that are near the water, there's things like lounge chairs and people are recreating, and maybe there's umbrellas, and it's just a very different thing, right? Like there's this day bed, and then there's a couple of hard, solid wood, not very comfortable or invited. Like no one's staying on that chair for the entire day for 7 days in a row and reading. Right.
Agreed.
And the backyard is quite functional, quite lovely, quite beautiful, but it does take up the vast majority of the footprint. Between the house and the backyard, there's not a lot of excess space. So Erica, what are the things that you like the most?
I love the bathrooms. I mean, literally I'm taking away some really, really great ideas for, our projects from the bathrooms alone. I mean, I think that the aesthetics, the materials, I just think they did a really beautiful job.
I think they did indeed, and one of the beautiful things about building in Central America or Costa Rica specifically is that the cost of labor is less and materials are less. So some of these polished finishes that we're seeing in the concrete and so on are really expensive in the United States. Right? Like where I'm used to building, and you can't do it from price consideration alone. You need real artists and artisans that know what to do, and they charge accordingly, and they're busy, and so you can't get it done. I'm certain here it's at a different price point because we've seen it time and time again.
Right.
And I just love the aesthetic, and I love how durable it is. Right.
And
like
the
this house will last forever.
Absolutely. And everything is, like you mentioned earlier, easy to clean, easy to maintain, durable. I mean, I think it's quite lovely. I really enjoy it.
Let me share with you what my favorite thing is.
Please.
So I really do like this two-house concept, and I love the fact that it has a separate entrance and exit, and so you could just rent out the one bedroom, right, if that's what somebody wanted. They didn't want to pay the whole thing, so you're no longer vacant. Or if somebody wants 4 bedrooms but not 5, you can just lock that off and not give them access. And or you could have, 4 bedrooms rented and the 1 bedroom. During Christmas peak season, that might pay for itself. I mean, it's just unbelievable, great opportunity. And so I think they knew exactly what it is that they're trying to build. The home is for sale. It's asking $1.495 million. It's also one of the more successful Airbnbs, or so we understand that. We'll include the links in the description. And if you want to reach out and follow up, feel free. But firsthand, this is a beautiful location, beautiful home. I think it's a great Airbnb.
Absolutely.
And this might make sense for some people. I'm just really honored that we were able to get in here and share it with everyone. It's smart. I think it's really smart.
It really is.
I'm really grateful that we were here and able to get in, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please go ahead and like it. Comment below. What's your favorite part of the house, right? Like, seriously, what do you guys like? What new ideas did this get going in your mind? Well, how can you use some of this in your Airbnbs today or in the future? Because that's the whole point, is to try and help you be as successful as you possibly can be, and sharing with you some of the things that we learn on our travels and some of the discoveries is not only fun for us, but I hope really educational and valuable for you. So comment below what you like, what you think. Like the video.
And subscribe!
She's getting it! Subscribe! Friends, I hope you found this video helpful. YouTube has been such a blessing for me because it's allowed me to educate and inspire hundreds of thousands of short-term rental hosts just like you. If you haven't noticed, I have hundreds of videos on my YouTube channel teaching Airbnb hosts a plethora of do's and don'ts. But when you're just starting out, it can be extremely overwhelming. You're probably thinking, what exactly do I do? Or where do I start? Well, if that's the case, I have a shortcut for you, and it's a sweet deal. For a very limited time, I'm giving away free access to an exclusive training video where I teach you the most important part of running any Airbnb business, no matter how big or small. The things you'll learn in this training are not available on my YouTube channel. In fact, it's a critical segment of my flagship course that sells for over $2,000. So if you want exclusive access to this training today, so you can block out the noise and get clear on what's the most important for you in your Airbnb business, then click on the button on this video, or visit str.university/training. Again, that's str.university/training. Remember, this is a part of my flagship $2,000 course, and it won't be available for much longer. Simply click the button below to claim it for free right now.